What is on top of the deck? What is on top of the deck? Oh, it's Lightning Helix! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Welcome to Hunt the Week.
Hello everyone and welcome into the show. Welcome on in each and every one of you commanders out there. All of you brawlmanders. You're a legendary creature, that's all we ask of you, and you have some kind of color restriction. No colorless commanders, but boy would that be fun to watch this week. I am your host with the most, your Don John DeMarco, your Goku or Go Home. And I welcome you to the show. This is Hunt the Week. It is a weekly Magic the Gathering podcast about the Sealed Arena Gauntlet League that we all love and play in. This is Lord of the Rings Week 5. I am a 3-time Mega Drafter, a 2-time League winner, and 1 time I made the Player of the Year top 8. Those are my accolades, my badges, my medals that I wear on my chest. And that's why you should listen to what I say, because I've done stuff. And if you listen to what I say on the show, I am wrong 80 to 90% of the time. Even when I'm just giving out things that I think are facts, are just wrong. But please enjoy the show for what it is. Be entertained. Get ready to talk about this Magic League and to talk about Brawl. I am ready to talk about it, but I don't really want to. Please join me as we begin the great journey.
The ring is evil. It will corrupt and destroy anyone who wears it. What will you do with the One Ring, Frodo?
As I record, this is your top 8. It is 3:20 p.m. on Thursday. Rafael F. Prudent, 18-7. Michael B. Monkey Mage, 17-7. Evan C. Peas of Crab, 17-7. Tony G. Why Not Rock, 17-8. Dan A. Beatdown Bringer, 17-8. Jordan M. JM Tron, 16-8. Emmett F. Sepulcher, welcome back, Emmett. Been a minute. 16-8. And Sawyer T. Soy Boy. Oh, we got some Diskers in the top 8, don't we? Got a couple Diskers. I love seeing this new player, Michael B. Monkey Mage, up there. I've tried to get him on the show. He's busy. But, man, I love having new players in the top 8. Everyone else is well known. Pretty much all league winners, I think. Evan won a league. Tony, Dan, Jordan. Yep, everyone but Raph and Michael are league winners up there. And then right outside the top 8, you got Damian Miranda, Way C, Daniel G, Nick S, Reed P, Adam S, and Joe T. And we are getting ready for that dreaded Week 6. You all know how Week 6 goes. There are feel-bads, there are comebacks, there are win and ins. It's going to be a lot of great Magic, but we got restrictions. But we can't talk about that until we talk about what we are in right now, and that's Week 5. This is Brawl Week. I was so excited for Brawl Week. If you're a listener of the show, and you are, because if you're not, why are you listening? Please turn it off if you don't want to listen. Go do something more productive with your time. Since Week 1, I've been talking about how I just want to get to Brawl Week, how I like Brawl a lot, how I love Brawl, and I was so excited for Brawl Week. I can't wait to play some Brawl. It's been so long. I really enjoyed the Brawl League we did. I thought it was fun. And here we are in Brawl Week. And I gotta say, and I don't like to be negative on the show. Chris York gave me the good feedback. Don't be negative. And I try to take it to heart. And believe me, for as negative as I am going to be, I'm not as actually negative as I am. I'm actually much more down on Brawl Week. But I did not enjoy Brawl Week, and I was looking forward to it. So that's just a bummer. It's a big bummer to me. I don't like what happens in Brawl Week. I don't like the way the community responds to Brawl. I feel like there's a lot of feel-bads. A lot of, I don't want to play against this commander. I don't want to play against this person. You have the people that, look through pools and find people with bad commanders. There's a lot of stuff going on this week. That's the kind of thing that I don't enjoy. People gaming the league, right? Everyone's looking for that advantage, and you don't have it if you play Samwise or Faramir. If you play against those guys, you're not going to have an advantage. I think people overthink things way too much, and everything's scary, and you have people shouting, I can't play against Faramir. Faramir's the worst. You're the devil for having it. And then you got, who was it? Yeah, then you have people like Jack H, who goes 1-2 in Brawl with Faramir. But meanwhile, the whole week he's been told that he's too tough and too hard to play against, and then he has a losing record on the week, right? I don't know. I'm not a big fan of how scared people get and just all the gaming, the system that seems to happen. So much so that they had to take out the bot messages. So I have changed my stance from a once Brawl lover to a never again. I hope we never play Brawl again. I'm playing in Johnny's Brawl side quest. I'm having a pretty good time with that. It's a little bit more of the Brawl that I know. You're building a deck instead of just, dealing with the cards that you're with. Sure, there are crazy commanders, but it's just a fun side thing, right? Like, it's not a league that I've done well in for 5 weeks, and then I got to play commander and worried about, now I got to lose, or... It's the haves and the have-nots, right? The haves have a great commander and build around him. And, man, you watching any of Dan A's games this week? That guy can ball. He is. And he went so hard on Brawl Week. He made a tier list. He's been doing tons of practices. Dan, figured out the meta and kind of broke it with the Samwise deck. We're seeing a lot more green-white. I like that we're seeing a variety. I like that things are changing. I just don't like the attitudes that come out during Brawl Week. I had a terrible experience this week myself. And I'm not going to get into it, but I just don't enjoy this aspect of playing Magic with a bunch of people. I like the fun. I like the happy. And Brawl is just not that. And I don't want to take away from people that are having a really good week or playing some great Magic, because there are some really cool decks out there. And there are some really cool build-arounds and really cool things happening. And I don't know. I'm missing a lot of games this week because I'm just not in the headspace to be enjoying it. So please, disregard my negativity around Brawl and Brawl Week. And if you like Brawl, I hope you're enjoying Brawl Week. I hope you're enjoying Side Quest. And I hope you're ready for Miranda's Mega Draft that looks like it's going to be happening next week, because that's a Brawl one, and that one is super fun. I really want to try to be involved in that. I've missed a few of those. Sorry, Miranda. But that's one I'd really like to be a part of. So this is the week of the have and have-nots. And I feel in my heart of hearts that next week is going to be similar. Right? Next week is you only get to play one rare or mythic. Other than that, all commons and uncommons. If you want to, I think back to Reed being on my show last week. Not really boasting, but happy to have 5 copies of Claim the Precious. Reed is a haver, right? Whoever has these strong commons and strong uncommons and multiples of them, they're going to be looking really good this week. And the people, and like Rafael, sorry, Raph, I'm not trying to single you out, but you have a slew of good rares, right? Witch King, Bowmaster, the Sword. Raph's got a whole bunch of good rares. I don't know what Raph's common and uncommons look like. So I feel like this week it's actually not going to be great for him. Even though he's been number one, and spoiler alert, coming up later in the interview. I don't know. So if you've had some really great rares and mythics this next week, you're probably not looking too forward to it. I just saw Miranda posting that she doesn't really have any rares that she wants to play this week. She's sticking with kind of a crummy one, and she's not feeling great about her chances. But I don't know what her commons and uncommons look like. That's the important part this week. How good is the rest of your deck minus those rares? Sure, there are a lot of rares that will come down and end the game. Witch King, Faramir. There's a lot of them that just come down and either need to be dealt with or they run away with it. The Sword, all the swords. And you only get one of those. So there's going to be a lot less of that this week. A lot less of those bomby bombs. And so much removal from everyone that even if they get that bomb, even if they play that Witch King, that Faramir, that Bilbo, that Frodo, it's probably just going to die, right? And that's your one rare. So you really need to back it up with the commons and uncommons. I'm excited to see what happens this week and to watch these games, because it's going to be some good old-fashioned Magic, right? That's what this is. No big bomby bomb. I played it, now you lose. It's going to be a lot of back and forth, Who's drawn the right pieces? Who's playing to their outs? Who's really doing well? And that's what we're here for, and that's good Magic. So that's what I want to see. And the people in top 8, they're scary. We're going to have a great mega draft coming up. This is the last league. Normally, this is the last show of, a league. I only do 6 episodes. I start before week 1 starts, and I go to week 5, and then the next league usually starts that week. We don't have a new league starting this week. We're kind of in this weird off patch, kind of, where it's we have this, then there's like a Rookie of the Year tournament. There might be some other small play-in tournament, and then Player of the Year is going to start. So I don't really know. I don't know what I'm covering next week. I'm probably just still covering week 6. I think that's the good news, is that we get to kind of see this tournament all the way to the end, and then we get to do the mega draft, and then we get to cover the who's the best Rookie of the Year, and then we get to see what's going on in Player of the Year. That's like a 3-week tournament. I am super excited for all of that stuff, but we don't get to that yet. We are here in Lord of the Rings, and I need your help. I need you to come with me as we take the One Ring to Mordor.
I'm going to Mordor alone. Of course you are. And I'm coming with you.
Yes, everyone, that's right. We are going to Mordor this week with someone who's been number 1. I spoiled it earlier. They've been top of the charts. They're the Taylor Swift of the league. They're always number 1. I had to get Raph on because Raph has just been dominating this entire league. He earned a spot on the show. I even told myself, if he drops out of the top 8, I'm not going to get Raph on. But if Raph stays top 3 this whole league, he's coming on. And guess what? He came on. And we talked Magic. We talked about him. We talked about Pokemon. We talked about Yu-Gi-Oh! We talked about Lord of the Rings. So please join me as I have my conversation with Raph right now. All right, everyone, join me as we journey to Mordor with none other than Rafael F, a.k.a. Prudent. Welcome to the show, Raph.
Good to be here. Thanks for the recommendation. I love this show. Love to come back time after time.
Time after time. Happy to have you. I got to ask you real quick, where does the name Prudent come from? What does that mean?
It's the weirdest thing in the world. So like years ago, when I first got an Xbox or Xbox 360, it recommended me a gamer tag, and it was like Prudent Disc 3653. And then when I started watching League of Legends, I thought the Korean players had the coolest names. So it was just like it was like a verb, or like just an action word. It'd be like dash, or it'd be like I don't know, down, up, bite, red. And I was like, I don't know why, but like when Cass was like, oh, bite to go, and I was like, that kind of sounds dope. So let me go away from King Solara and just take Prudent.
And that's how we got here. Prudent, the man himself. I've been saying your name all Lord of the Rings League. You've been in the top 3, I want to say, basically the entire time. You're having a great league, man. It doesn't happen often to us, but it's happening to you right now. So I want to know about it. We're in Lord of the Rings League. We're in week 5, Brawl Week, the dreaded Brawl Week. How did we get here? What are you doing that is working so well? I want to know all about it, man.
So the way this works, right, is the pre-release of the league, if you want to call it that, when Caleb Rose pulls. Yes. I got a busted pool.
yeah. Let's look at I want to look at your rares real quick, because I know you've got stupid rares.
Oh, it's pretty good. I won't say anything. I'll just let you look first.
Hold on. Do you have your pool somewhere, or do you hide it?
No. Well, we can't hide it, remember?
Oh, that's right. It's in the dynamics. I keep forgetting it's in the dynamic standing sheet.
If I could hide it, I would hide it again, because I don't like, open deck lists, but
it's out I don't like now. It either, man. I got scouted this week, and it was a feel bad for me.
Right?
Wasn't into it.
I think I started like Bowmaster, Witch King, and Sword. So my pool was like already pretty good from the get-go.
Which sword? The mythic? Oh, the mythic one.
Yeah,
too.
The Sword of Anduril. And I think there was a Fell Beast in there also. So like I had plus we were playing a 40 card week for week 1. So it wasn't really hard to go 5-0 week 1.
Were you on red black from the very beginning?
No, I think I was on red white. I'm sorry, black white, because my red wasn't too good in my like opening pool. Like it wasn't crazy. I think like my white and my blue stood out most to me, but like the blue didn't really have the creature quality I needed, and like white had Errant Rider, Spirit Summoning. I was like, those games will probably win me a few more games than playing red. And sure enough, Spirit Summoning on turn 2 and the Sword turn 3 really get your opponent to play differently for a bit.
Oh yeah, it does. I mean, that sword, that's a dumb card, the sword.
Yeah, I mean, week 1, half the time I wasn't like tossing it down on 3, because I feel like a lot of people didn't know I had it. So I could just do other things, then slam it on 5, then equip it on 5. And then from there, most people just surrender.
Yeah, you got the Bowmasters. You got the Witch King, which I finally played against Witch King, and I forgot to read the card. Um,
Oh, it's
I was
impressive.
I was like, yeah, it just taps and gets indestructible. I can deal with that. That's no problem. And then I swing all in. I'm like, oh no, it does stuff on attacks.
Yeah.
Wait,
It's like
why?
Sauron where it changes like how you do things.
Why does it do that? Like it does enough already. Why does it also do that other stuff?
And I think what when you sack at ring temps also, it's like, oh
Oh
brother.
yeah, yeah. Everything about it is gross. And then looking at the cards you've opened since then, second Bowmasters. Hello, hello. One ring the rule of them all. Fine, but probably gets played. Um, the black land is great. If you're in red, Gloin's actually pretty good. Oh, you opened up double Mahar Uruk too. Ooh,
I know, right? Just when I needed it like to play like black and brawl.
and you've got like you. The thing about this is you've got the really nice black top end. You've got two of the Voracious Fell Beast. That's a nice top end card to have. Removal,
It's
flying.
it's funny though. Like this league has been pretty feels bad for the pool. Like the pool looks nuts, right? But after week 3, you have choices to make.
Yeah,
So I either play two Bowmasters, and at the time I had one Fell Beast, or I play Witch King and Andoril. And I figured Witch King and Andoril will win me more games than playing, a bunch of mid cards for two Bowmasters.
yeah.
And then week 4 was odds and evens. Or I'm sorry, no, that was week 4.
Week
I,
four. Week 4 was odds and evens. Yeah.
week 5 is brawl, so I only get a choice of one. So I only get one Fell Beast, one Bowmaster. Week 6, I only get a choice of one between sword, two bowmans, and Witch King. So it's like I don't get to utilize the whole pool pretty much ever.
Well, hey, that's how Plains Chase leagues work, and that's kind of it's a feel bad for you, but it's a feel good for the people that have to play you. I
Oh,
mean,
you're not
because
wrong.
it's like it does give them a chance to not have to worry about the double bowmaster, the Witch King, like because so let's talk about it. So we're in Brawl Week. Who is your commander?
Maher.
Maher.
Maher Uruk.
Hi, Captain. We are the screams of Saruman the Wise, the White Hand, the hand that gave us man's flesh to eat.
Is that what his like text says?
That's flavor text, yeah.
I didn't know you had flavor text, to be honest.
Dude, because you play an arena, and arena doesn't show you flavor text unless you like go out of
Fair.
your way. And it's, I get it, but man, I love flavor text. So it's an easy thing to miss when you don't play a lot of paper magic. Is like, man, there's good flavor text out there. Try to pay attention to it because oh, it's a good time. That seems like a good commander. How have your games been so far this week?
I think I've only played 2 games so far. And I think whoever I played first, it was a good game. But I think like the Sword of Andor just kind of like won that game. And then when I
Yeah.
played Paul last night, it was just a straight banger of a 3-part series. I'm glad he opened Sauron, give him some motivation to play some Brawl Week. And Sauron came down on turn 6 every game to my dismayment. But it made the game really good. Like he plays Sauron, and like I could use Sauron to grow his amass token to swing in
Oh,
lethal for game 2, and then game 3 he just curved out really nicely and was able just to pretty much like turn 1 Lancer, turn 2 generic 2-drop, turn 3 Bowman, kill my guy, grows amass, turn 4 Lancer or Rohirrim, ring tempt, and then turn 5 Eomer, and then turn 6 Sauron. And I
ooh,
was like, maybe I can come back. So I Black Breath his board, and I go, okay, this is where we start coming back, forgetting that he can draw a fresh new hand of 4 cards after the
yeah.
amass token hits. And now I was like, that's probably the point where the game was really hard to win because I still could have came back.
Why do these cards do so many things? Why
I know, right?
You don't need to be able to discard and draw 4 cards with that. Like you already get so much value off of it. Just like Witch King. Witch King already does so much. You don't need the attack clause on it, or even the ring tempting on. Like you can tone these down a little bit.
You figure Daddy Wizards needs their money somehow, right? Power.
Yeah, the cards in the set, they're the pushed cards are pushed, right? Like they're very strong, like that sword, and you've got a lot of them because the sword is like it's hard to beat the sword. It kind of just wins the game on its own. Sauron's kind of similar, Witch King kind of similar. Like these cards just will take over the game, and I think it's cool because there was a lot of people afraid of Faramir this week, and there was a lot of people afraid of Samwise. I don't think people were really that scared of Sauron. But man, I'm seeing Sauron kind of clean house in Brawl Week.
It's funny. I think Dan made a ranking, and he has Sauron pretty high up there. I think that the pecking order at first was like Arwen, um, Faramir, and like one other card. And
Uh-huh.
then after Sam got some play, I mean, Dan got some play testing in. Samwise is now the number one deck in his tier list.
Of course, the commander that he's playing has made it to the top of his very own tier list. What a surprise! What a shock!
It's pretty funny though, because it's such a resilient deck. But I think at least Dan, at the very least, knew that Sauron was going to be a top tier commander.
Hey, that's what happens when you play your practice games, is you kind of figure out what's coming.
Yeah.
So play your practice games. I didn't really play any practice games this league, and look at me. I'm 10 and 11, and I am dead, and that's what happens.
Yeah, I would say practice is good. I think someone's asking me, they're like, like, do you feel you need practice? And I was like, kind of, because I mean, like, no offense, but like, I get stuff wrong.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't realize the Witch King. Like, if you swing with 10 creatures and they all hit someone, the Witch King won't make your opponent sacrifice all 10, but just one of them. And I was like, I would have never known that if I didn't try that in a practice game. So I was like, that's one other avenue I have. And then when someone hits your Witch King with that 2-drop, deal 3, exile it.
Yeah.
Apparently, I didn't realize that's like flavor text for the movie. But I was like, duly noted. Be scared of red.
Red will come after you. You got to watch out for that.
Yeah.
So you're doing great in Lord of the Rings. What's your current record right now?
I think like 16-6.
16-6. Currently still in first place, I believe, right?
For now, until someone plays another game.
For now. That's Brawl Week. So next week, you get into you can only play one rare, and that's going to be tough for your pool, right? You've got these busted rares. What is, or do you know what one rare to rule them all you are going to go with?
I'm going to be honest. It's probably a rare that's going to take over the game. It just makes sense to go with Sword of Andor.
Yeah, that's
like
what I'm
between
thinking
that
too.
and Bowmaster. Yeah, like between the two. Like, I don't know. I think I was talking to a few people about what would you rather play, Bowmaster or Andor? Like back in odds and evens week, and a lot of people were saying they'd rather go with the Bowmaster. But I'd rather just play the card that can win the game by itself.
Yeah. I'm with you. For me, I think it's between Witch King and the Sword, because I think they both will just make you win, and I think the Sword is just so much harder to deal with. No one's running artifact removal, right? Like, I don't think I've seen main deck artifact removal at all. Like, it's just not really there.
I mean, I think you're right. Outside like the Westfold, the 3-1, because like when I played like my white black build, I was maining that just to deal with other swords.
That would do it. And then
Into the Fire.
Yeah, Into the Fire. But I don't think people are really like main. Like, they'll bring it in out of the side probably, but I don't know. I don't know if people are main decking it.
I think it's smart to leave in the sideboard, to be honest. Like, you'll probably hit stuff sometimes. Like, you can do like cool combat things with it. But 9 times out of 10, I'm probably just leaving it on the sideboard.
Yeah, and that sword, all it asks is that you have a creature. That's all it asks of you. And once you have a creature, it makes more creatures. And it will just keep going until your opponent's dead, and you can shut block kind of forever. And it's a wonderful, beautiful thing.
It's a glorious world. Glorious, glorious, glorious. All hail the sword.
All hail the sword. I think both swords are good, right? There's the rare sword, which is pretty good. Not as good as that one, but they're both very good cards, right? Like, it's fun to see equipment be good again. I just wish I had some of that stuff. That's all I'm saying.
Think outside of the Sword of Andor, we haven't seen equipment be this good since 1.
Yep, since 1 when it was Fort Mirrodin. Man, that stuff was that was a fun deck, man. I hated that
Sword
format.
of Andor Fort Mirrodin.
Oh man! Oh yeah, you just make a legendary token. Oh my gosh. Well, you're doing great in Lord of the Rings, and I love to see it. I like rooting for people, and I've been rooting for you, Raph, because it's not easy. It's not easy to be in first place the whole league, right? Like, it's a hard thing to do, and you've been consistently doing it. So congratulations to you on your fantastic run you've had so far. But we got to get to our questions from the league, because we got some good ones this week.
All right, what you got for me?
This first one's going to come from Richard. Let's start with this one.
Oh,
can you explain the Rakdos index? Richard has the Cloudblazer index, right, where he judges every card off a Cloudblazer. Do you have a Rakdos index?
Yeah, the Rakdos index is pretty simple. I mean, there's just 5 main criteria. Does it sacrifice anything? Does it recur? Does it do damage or make an opponent discard when it dies? Does it steal anything, specifically a creature? And does it also sack it? Because that's just icing on the cake right there.
Oh my gosh.
And then finally, does it ping? Like enter the battlefield, death? Does it have a tap ability to ping? Or can you sack something and ping? That's the Rakdos index in a nutshell.
So you've got the Cloud Blazer, which defines the Cloud Blazer index. Is there a card that defines the Rakdos index that's like a 4 out of 5 or a 5 out of 5?
Oh, Colgan's Command.
Oh, yeah, my man. My
Colgan's
man.
Command is the defining Rakdos card.
Oh. I mean, when I used to play Modern, I had a Grixis control deck, and I would loop Snapcaster mages with Colgan's Command. Oh, good times, buddy.
It's just, I don't know. When I think Rakdos, I just think Colgan's Command. There's one sitting on my desk at all times, just to remind me where I came from.
Damien would like to know, how addicted are you to this community?
Whoa! I mean, I do love Magic, so typically I'm always like bouncing around places. But I mean, like, I don't know. This community is awesome. Like, you'll probably see me like chill on the side, drafting like Adam, Rich, or John, whoever pops by. So I'd say pretty addicted.
Yeah, you're in there, man. You're a staple, right? You're a staple. You're in there, and I love it. I love seeing Raph in there, saying his jokes, making people mad. It makes me happy.
What can I say?
Today, this is a 3-parter from Damien, by the way. That's part 1.
Okay.
Part 2, when he will win a PT, which bad deck is he going to pilot in Constructed?
Man, I haven't played Constructed in so long, but like, it's got to be a Rakdos list. I don't care what it is. Like right now, I mean, well, I guess last standard season, Rakdos was pretty busted.
Yeah.
But I don't know the shakeup of the meta right now. But I'd probably just jam a Rakdos list together and just play with that. It's just too good, too good.
Yeah, you're definitely the BR Go Burr guy. That's kind of how I got introduced to Raphael. BR Go Burr.
Listen, man, you get the control style of black, but the aggro of red, and black gives you a bit of hand control if you need it. It's just a perfect mix in heaven.
So are you playing Rack? So yeah. So you're playing Rack. Isn't it cool when you get to like play a good deck in the color pair that you like in League? Like, isn't that such a joy?
Oh, 100%.
It doesn't happen a lot when you're like, oh, because I'm a big like controller value blue black, Sultai player, but I don't get to play those decks a lot of the time. But man, when it works out and I'm playing the cards I like and the colors I like and the deck is good, it's nothing better than that.
Sultai piles are disgusting.
Oh man, you telling me? I'm
gonna play big dirty creatures. I'm gonna kill your stuff, and I'm gonna recur my stuff after you kill it.
And then I'm just gonna draw a card. I'm just gonna draw like 7 cards while you're empty-handed and make this last a whole lot longer, a lot longer than I needed to, just for fun.
I feel like I've been forced into too many Sultai piles. When's the last time you got a good Sultai pile in League?
Oh, it's been a minute, man. A good Sultai. I mean, it would probably be the last good League deck I had was the Neo League, and that's not Sultai, it was Dimir, but I'll take it. So yeah, I mean the Dimir Ninjas in the Neo Partner League, that deck was just gross.
I'm not sure if I'm hearing you right. You said in Neo League you had a good. Do you say salty or salt? I'm joking.
No, I mean, the thing about League is I like to go like 4 or 5 color, 5 color, like with a base Sultai when I can. And I don't think I've really been able to do that since Plains Chase. I went to Strixhaven and I had a sweet 5 color Strixhaven deck. But then we got to the week that was you can only play 1 color of basic, and my deck fell apart.
Oh dear God.
My deck was all like environmental sciences, grab another basic, cultivate, grab all my extra colors, but I couldn't do it. And like that's Plains Chase League, right? Like if you hit a bad week, your deck just don't work sometimes. So
listen, I'm calling Plains Chase the new what's that? The 7 layers of hell, except it's just 6 for the 6 weeks.
Hey man, you wait till you get to that bigger draft. That could be week 7.
7 layers of hell then.
Damien's last part is if you were to take over League Committee as ultimate ruler and authority, what changes would you make?
Oh, I think step 1, eradicate Brawl now. I let the League Committee have fun with that one. But honestly, I don't know. Like, if I had more like Regency, I don't know. I've always said that we can grow our community probably a lot. Like, at least have like a bigger hand in the pot, right? Like, I think I was talking to one of the League Committee members one time, and I was asking, like, why don't we like do like certain Facebook group advertising to like the groups with like thousands upon thousands of people. So it's probably more populated than the limited resources Discord that we typically advertise in. And
Yeah.
they were saying they didn't want to grow the league too quickly because of turnover, which always sounded backwards to me. Like when you think of companies, right? And when they sign people up, take a bank, for example, right? They don't want a small amount of people. They want the largest reach possible, knowing that they're going to have turnover anyway. So it's like if you have, 100 people sign up and 20 turnover, I mean, you still have 80 people. And then if you extend that to 200, and let's say you get double the turnover, that's 40 now, but you still have 160. So you've grown it by 60, right?
Yep.
By extending the reach. So it's just always made more sense to me. And then a jokey joke thing that I was saying is trying to monetize the league. And like with that money, you could probably put it towards like the potty. Now, granted, this isn't easy at all, but I was thinking, if someone like Rich currently puts the videos on YouTube, right?
Yep.
But what if there was, and I love everything Rich does.
Sure, yeah.
I'm not coming at you, Rich. But what if like you had like production value? Like we're probably not going to be able to get there like SCG, but like what if you can like ramp up the production and like make it like a pretty good spectacle where like maybe you have like 100 to like 1,000 concurrent viewers, but it's probably never going to work though. Imagine like you rarely get what 4,000 viewers for an SCG or a Pro Tour.
Yeah.
So there's just ideas that I bounce in my head. I don't know. I just love growing communities.
Hey,
I think it'd be like dope to see this one continue growing.
There's no bad ideas in brainstorming, as they say, right? Like throw out ideas and they'll find the good ones.
If you want my honest opinion, though, if I took over as like league overlord, I would replace York with Smathiel in an instant.
Smathiel, that's a great question because Caleb would like to know what's Smathiel been up to nowadays. Now, Smathiel, I believe that's just I was gonna say you with a mustache, but you have a mustache, don't you? You with a second mustache.
So Smathiel's my twin. I think back, there was a league where I don't know if that was Plane Chase, but they were offering free entry to new players. And so, I recommended my friend Smathiel from my local card shop. And at first he was going to play, but I think he forgot his Discord password and he couldn't join at least any further. I think he signed up for like the AGL, but I just lost in translation or something like that. He said he'll try and make it back for the next free league, though. Is
that what he's doing up to these days? Just kind of hanging out, waiting for a free league to start?
Yeah, I think right now he said something about like he's just really enthralled with Yu-Gi-Oh right now, and something about this Max C challenge, if you know what that means.
Oh, I'm so glad you brought up Yu-Gi-Oh because I wanted to talk about it. I got a question for you that I wanted to ask you.
What you got?
You play a lot of card games. You're a big card game guy, and not just Magic. You started like with Pokemon, right?
I started with Yu-Gi-Oh or Dot Hack when I was a kid.
Dot Hack. Oh, that's a name I haven't heard in quite some time. I've played the video games. I never played the card game. But I'm familiar with Dot Hack. So I know you play Pokemon, you play Yu-Gi-Oh, you play Dot Hack, you play Magic. You play all these card games. And I don't know anything about any of them but Magic. What specifically Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh? What do those card games do that Magic doesn't for you?
I mean, it's interesting you phrase it like that. So Magic, right? You can interact on your opponent's turn, and you kind of always have to be paying attention to the game state. Where in Pokemon, when it's your turn, it's your turn. There's no such thing as an instant in that game.
Okay.
So when it's like Pokemon's more about filtering out your deck, getting out like junk. So you're using Ultra Balls. It says like imagine Magic had a card that says discard 2 cards from hand, grab a card from your deck and put it in your hand. Probably a terrible card, right? Because you're going 2 for 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, so right. You would never play the Magic, but in Pokemon, you'll search for a Pokemon, you'll play it on your bench. That Pokemon will say when it comes to your bench, like Shaman, you discard your hand and draw 7 cards. So you're constantly just tossing out junk from your hand or thinning out your deck as little as possible while setting up attackers, and then kind of like maneuvering around your opponent. So you can kind of sit back, relax. When your opponent's doing their whole Ultra Ball, because their turns can go like 5-10 minutes sometimes, maybe 20 minutes if they're like a control deck. It's quite annoying.
Is it more like playing combo decks, or like that's kind of what it sounds like to me, or like gold fishing, where it's like
goldfishing. I would say it's more akin to gold fishing, because like some people do brick, like they'll start one Pokemon, and the rules are if your one Pokemon gets knocked out and you don't have a bench, you lose the game. So sometimes you can tell when your opponent's desperate because like they'll play one Pokemon on their starting hand or on the starting turn.
Yeah.
And if they go first, I think the new rules, you can't play supporters. So long story short, they allow you like to draw a bunch of cards.
Okay.
So they're just stuck with what they have in hand. If they go, wow, man, energy pass, all of a sudden you're just instantly, I must kill this one creature. Can I do it?
Yep, I can win the game.
It's equivalent to your opponent bricking in Magic and just getting like one land.
Oh, never fun.
And then where Yu-Gi-Oh would like, take over both those is Yu-Gi-Oh is pretty much a combo player's paradise.
Ooh,
Do you like doing multiple things? I play this card because this card enters the battlefield on main phase 1. I'll special summon 2 cards. With these 2 cards, I'll special summon this Synchro monster right here. When he enters the battlefield, I grab this guy back from the graveyard who comes back to the field. And because of my special summon monster's ability, I get to grab another card from the deck. I exceed summon now. And you create board states where your opponent has to try and break it. And I joked about this card called Max C. Back when I used to play, we call it the Max C challenge.
Yeah.
You're almost an idiot for ever taking it because Max C states, like anytime your opponent goes to special summon, you draw a card. So it typically stuns most people. They'll go, okay, cool. I play 2 trap cards and pass my turn. But you'll have that one guy that goes, no, you know what? I'm pretty sure I still can kill you to the Max C. And so they'll just special summon like 20 creatures. You'll draw 20 cards. You have cards that, like hand traps that'll shut off abilities.
Sure.
Hand traps that'll stop combat. So it's like, dude, don't ever take the Maxi challenge.
So interesting. I think it's so cool. I'd love to get into other card games, but I'm just so deep into Magic that I don't know that I can ever do it. We're starting to run a little out of time, so we kind of got to get through these last questions a little quickly. Rafael. Chris York would like to know, what's your favorite in-server drama? You are no stranger to the drama, as we saw this week with your stipulation no brawl games during Brawl Week. What has been your favorite drama on the server?
To keep it short and sweet, I'd say this week. This week was pretty fun.
It's a good one.
Funny. Like, Damien made a comment and then deleted it, probably for the right decisions. And I was like, wait, no, that's a pretty good idea because we had this huge conversation a year ago about Stips, and why most of us thought Stips shouldn't be allowed in the league. One time stipulation matches would have saved a lot of people or made this week so much more enjoyable. All of a sudden, a lot of the people that were on the side of stip matches were like, wait a minute.
You found the loophole.
But that was just too much fun. I would say for the most part, though, York, my lips are sealed. But to all my naysayers, just know your salty tears help me sleep better at night.
You are the kind of man that will start controversy and then revel in it for as long as you can. And I do appreciate that. Johnny would like to know, you're on track to qualify for Player of the Year, so congratulations if you do. First round, the pods are either War and One, which I will be playing, AKR IKO, KLR Bro, or Dominaria Zendikar Rising. Which pair would you like to play?
Man, I'm appreciative of the fact that you said like to play because I'm going to crash and burn week 6. But I would say probably Dom and Zendikar Rising. It's either between that and War and One, and it's legitimately just because I know those sets. I don't know anything about Kaladesh or Amaket Remastered. So it's like
yeah, so I think the options here, War One, that's counters proliferate, right? Ikoria, AKR. I'm having a hard time thinking about what the theme is there. I don't know. Kaladesh and Bro is artifacts. Dom and Zendikar, that's like land matters, right? Like landfall stuff. AKR, IKO. I played a ton of those sets. I just don't know what the theme is there.
Yeah, I know Ikoria only because I do a sealed commander league, and Ikoria was my starting box, so I know all the cards.
Yeah, Ikoria is cool.
I just know like monsters and mutate. That's about it.
It's mutate, yeah, and then Amonkhet was like, I don't know. I just think aggro. I just think aggro for Amonkhet.
Exactly, yeah. It was aggro and exalted.
Ugh. I don't know. But hey, we got a new segment that it's not new, but it has a new name. It has a title, and we're going to do it now. It's time for Steve's Stumpers.
Steve's Stumpers.
I'm just a puzzle guy.
You got a question from Steve Raphael, and it's not an easy one. We got to hear Steve's Stumper this week and see if you can solve it. This is the question. April is playing a game of 100-card Historic Singleton because she refused to face Natsu's commander, Faramir, in Historic Brawl, with her Witch King deck. It's April's turn, and April animates her twice-tempted Ringbearer, a 4/4 Darksteel reactor, with 19 charge counters on it, using Karn, the great creator. April attacks with it, drawing Drown in the Ichor off the ring's trigger and discarding her only other card from her hand. Natsu blocks with Ithilien Kingfisher, equipped with Borrow Blade. Darksteel Reactor loses all abilities, and Natsu draws the last card in her library, Tail's End. It's now April's second main phase, and she still has 2 untapped swamps, so she can cast Drown in Ichor. Natsu has a Human Soldier token, a Jace Wielder of Mysteries, and a tapped Skybridge Tower on the battlefield, along with 3 untapped islands and 3 tapped planes. Natsu only has the Tail's End in her hand. If the game reaches Natsu's turn, Natsu will certainly win thanks to Skybridge Towers and Jace. Can April win this turn? Why or why not?
Yes, but no. So April could just concede like the silver scrub she is, but April's better than this. April reached Mythic 10 years ago, and she's going to ride this high today.
So your answer is
April can win this turn.
April can win this turn by the other player conceding.
No, so if I'm correct on this, I think it has to do with the cleanup step. Because the Darksteel has 19 counters on it, right?
Yep.
And the filthy Natsu player has a 1/1 human.
Yep.
So if she drowned in Icarus, the 1/1 human, right?
Yep.
Proliferating the 19 charge counters to 20, going to cleanup step, she'll have the ability of the Darksteel Reforger back, and she'll win the game.
Ding, 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 ding. I think you nailed it 100%. So this is the new part of this segment is I'm now getting the answers from Steve ahead of time.
I was wondering. I was like, man, Johnny.
So I know. So yeah, now I know. And the answer is yes, they can. And it's because if she drowned in Icarus the token and adds the 20th charge counter, Darksteel Reactor's ability will come back and trigger during the cleanup step. Even if it's countered with Tail's End, it will immediately trigger again and she'll win. I wouldn't have got that. I can't believe you did, man. That was a tough one. The cleanup step.
Commander. So I play a ton of Commander games, and like these weird little interactions come up, and the cleanup step is one of the biggest ones. They have to remind my friends about.
How do you play so much Commander and hate Brawl? How is that a thing? Shouldn't you love Brawl?
Commander's 4 players, Brawl is 2. So Commander's terribly unbalanced. People complain about power level. What power level are you playing, John? You're an 8? Oh well. I'm playing a 5. You should really tone it down. So you tone your deck down, start, playing, and secretly they're playing 10.
I do agree. I like Commander way more because of the social aspect, and I love the politics of Commander. You don't get politics in Brawl.
Correct.
I can't try and talk you into bad blocks or, make you attack somebody else. So it's just not going to happen.
Plus, if you're playing like, Commander, if your power level is like, too high or your deck's just way too tuned, we can arc enemy you. Okay, cool. You're just too strong.
Yeah. And you're just okay. Now we can all gang up. Who's your favorite commander, by the way?
I play a lot of CEDH, so I love Blue Farm, Crom and Timna.
Oh God. I don't even
it's just a stupid value deck. But like if I'm playing like casual, I'll just play Prosper. But it's not like, Doom whatever that Doomsday Prosper list is. It's just straight bad Prosper. Who's your guy?
Value Prosper.
Yeah. What do you play?
Raph, we are running out of time, but I want to thank you so much for coming on the show. We did a very early morning record. It's not even 10 o'clock in the morning yet. Thank you for coming on the show. Thanks for talking Magic with me, and I hope you have a great rest of the Lord of the Rings League after you make the top 8, man.
Hey, likewise, man. But really quickly, who's your favorite commander?
My favorite commander is Mizzix.
Ooh.
I love my red-blue spells, and I just want to storm off. So I played Mizzix board wipes, and then there's no creatures in it. It's all spells. I love it.
I need a list sometime, man. I need a list.
Oh, I'll get you one. I'll make it happen. Say what you want about Raph. He's a polarizing character. Either you love him or you hate him. I think most people love him. But I like talking to him. He likes to have fun. Raph likes to joke around and he likes to have a good time. He's such a nice guy, and I'm really interested in this whole Pokemon Yu-Gi-Oh thing because I don't know a lot of people that play all the card games, right? He plays Pokemon, he plays Yu-Gi-Oh, and he plays Magic, and he plays more. He plays more than that. Who has the time? I don't know where he finds it, but I just think that's so interesting. This man loves card games. He has a love for just a card game more than I have a love for card games, right? Because he's out there exploring and trying new things and seeing how they work. And I just think that's so cool. It's something that I don't have a ton of experience with, or really any experience. And I'm so happy to see it happening. I love the input. And even though he killed Stips, jokingly, of course, yeah. Raph is, he's someone that I just love seeing around. He's got a great sense of humor. And even though sometimes he may take a joke too far, he's normally just joking and having a good time. And that is something that I appreciate. So, Raph, I hope you do well the rest of the league. And some of us didn't do well this league. Not going to do well the rest of the league. For some of us, the league is over. So join me as we go to the Dead Marshes. That's right. Some of us didn't make it, and these are those names. Paul G, the Dragon. Pierre Marc, PM Duguay. Caleb G, why not? Cody Race. Bob P, Hit. Johnny M, Johnny. Steve T, Strout. Jack H, Rakic. Philip B, Plipster. Wesley L, Westlars. Devin W, Devin. Eric S, Smite. Pedro D, Gumbasa. Caleb K, Black Echo. Jeremy E, Lorgoif. John P, Goku or Go Home. Dan K, Physician. James S, Zoid. Philip M, Fat Kitty. Yoshitaki, Cradley Go. Ryan D, The Slickness. Mitchell S, Spaghetti Mitch. And Lot P, Lot. I'm excited to see what happens next week. Nobody's really that far ahead. Like Raph's, 18-7. Raph's doing great, but I don't think he's locked for anything right now. He's only one game up on most of the top 8, 18, 17, 16. And then you got people like Damian Miranda right there, ready to strike, ready to go on a streak. Way C, ready to go on a streak. And I got to think, I'm seeing a lot of underplay this week from these players. So maybe people that underplay, I don't know, week 6 is tough to try to make up games in, right? Like week 6, there's just not a lot of games to go around and they dry up so quick. So underplaying this week, even though it may be correct, tough week to underplay in because week 6 is not an easy week to overplay, which I think a lot of people are counting on a lot of underplay this week so that maybe there's a little bit more of games next week. But once people start getting eliminated, all those games just go away. They go away so quick when like 5 people get knocked out. Oh man, it happens. So pick your favorite to root for. Mega Draft coming up. Week 6 of Lord of the Rings on the horizon. And I hope you all get to keep a good 7 and that shuffler is in your favor. Because we don't always get that free mulligan like we did in Brawl, do we, huh? This has been a weirder league. And we're wrapping it up. So get your games in, play well, and maybe I'll be saying your name next week when we announce the top 8 of Lord of the Rings League for the Mega Draft. And I'll see you there next week. Bye, everybody. We're recording now. When your bright room where your silhouette, you look like you look like on like Cops or Unsolved Mysteries or something when they have someone and they like want to hide their identity.
Their face is just like blurred out.
Yeah.
I don't know where it came from, but it was over there.
That's what the Dateline people that would come in.
Exactly. Yeah. Like the voice has been changed.
Have my picture getting out there
to hide the innocent.